Alright, now we are going to begin the second round of our King of the Ring tournament. And we started with 24 and now we're down to 16. And our first match, we have the lowest seed in the whole tournament in Bob Barker taking on the number 1 seed in the Ultimate Warrior, as he just goes over the top rope and a spear, a tackle even, to the floor. And I'll tell you one thing, Ultimate Warrior, this is his match to lose. Not saying that Bob Barker's a pushover, because, Bob Barker, he's, in addition to being one of the most successful game show hosts of a very successful game show, I mean, he had Truth or Consequences before that, but, I mean, Bob has been a 5-time world champion in this company, so he's been to the top before, and he even won a King of the Ring tournament once before in the 70s. I think it was 1976 when we had a tournament, and he won it. Well, now he's trying to win this tournament and get himself back into the title picture. But out of all the guys that were part of this company from the very beginning was Bob Barker. My dad, Maurice Jacobson, he was the guy that drafted Bob Barker, who at that point came off a successful run of Truth or Consequences and already getting pinned. Just a 1 count. But Bob, at that point, he was trying to test the waters with other game shows because, like I said, Truth or Consequences ended, and it really wasn't until 1972 when The Price is Right came out that not only did he become a star, he became a superstar. I mean, he was good before that, but it really wasn't until The Price is Right came out that he became a championship contender, and that's what also started the feud between him and Mr. Rogers. And Mr. Rogers, who was a world champion within the first 3 years or actually 4 years, never mind. But he was champion, was Mr. Rogers, for 3 years, off and on, more often trading the title with one of his earlier rivals in Andy Williams, the singer. That was until Bob started The Price is Right along with CBS, and of course we all know how well that turned out. Price is Right is still on the air, and a few more years and it's going to become the longest running game show. And Bob, the moneymaker onto the Ultimate Warrior. That's what he calls that twisting neck breaker or twisting face buster. 1, 2, no. Of course, it's going to take more than that to beat the Ultimate Warrior, but Bob knows he has to stay on him, as well as work on the legs of the Ultimate Warrior. Ooh, nice kick onto the Ultimate Warrior. But anyway, back to Bob. When The Price is Right became a success on CBS, it was on the time slot. If you remember, now that we're getting more and more channels on television, with cable being added, it wasn't that long ago that you only had 3, 4, 5 channels, probably 5. What in the heck? Wait, is that the Big Boss Man? And he just, what? The Big Boss Man looks a little different, but he just attacked Barker. He just attacked Bob Barker, and I was about to talk about, the exploits that Barker has had with Mr. Rogers, but I'll have to tell you more about that story in another time. But the Big Boss Man comes out and attacks Bob Barker. Now Bob goes out to intercept him, only to get hit by the Big Boss Man, which in turn got the Ultimate Warrior disqualified, and Bob Barker manages to beat the Ultimate Warrior. I'll tell you one thing: when the Warrior gets back up, because as you can see, he is down. When the Warrior gets back up, he's probably gonna kill the Big Boss Man. I know it. But stay tuned. We'll be back for our next match. Alright. Alright, match underway. And I'm still shocked at the fact that the Big Boss Man attacked Bob Barker and ultimately costing the Ultimate Warrior, no pun intended, and won. A 1 count on Hawk. Hawk is the big muscle man with the face paint. And his opponent is the Honky Tonk Man in red. But I'm still shocked at the fact that Bob, who was, I don't want to say he was an underdog, but the fact that the Ultimate Warrior was the huge favorite, he was the #1 seed. So you would have thought that he would have had, he would have coasted all the way to the finals, but instead, thanks to the Big Boss Man, that's not going to happen. And like I said, I truly pity the Big Boss Man because when the Ultimate Warrior gets back up, or rather once he realizes, or rather, how do I put this? The Big Boss Man is going to pay. I know he will be. And also, now we get to our current match, and it looks like Honky Tonk Man was distracted on the outside by Paul Ellering. He is the manager on the outside in black. The opposite manager is Honky Tonk Man's manager, Jimmy Hart, in white. And thrown over the top rope is Hawk. Can't believe I almost forgot his name. But anyway, oh, and I almost forgot to mention, we are in, I think it's All Japan, if I'm not mistaken. And for those of you wondering, like, what determines where we go in terms of what arena we compete in? It's very simple. Whoever has the highest seed, like the higher seed within each matchup, gets to choose where the match is held. So that's how we determine the which arena we use. And Hawk, of course, is no stranger to All Japan as well as New Japan, but I believe this is All Japan if I'm not mistaken. And Honky Tonk Man, he has Hawk on the ropes, but what's he going to do? Well, he faked him out. Very good move on the part of the Honky Tonk Man as Hawk is on the floor. Let's see what the Honky Tonk Man's going to do. What? I have never seen Honky Tonk Man ever do a move like that. I'm surprised he didn't crash and burn, but still. I have never seen Honky Tonk Man do a move like that. What the heck is this? I'll tell you one thing. I've never known this about... Wait a minute. Honky Tonk Man. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. And now, Paul Ellering on the corner was trying to mess with that turnbuckle, but that distraction, as well as the fact that the Honky Tonk Man was too busy celebrating, did not go for the cover. And now, wait a minute, a chair just gets thrown in by Ellering. Wait a minute. 1. No. Kick out at 1 by the Honky Tonk Man. And although Hawk has been known the world over as one half of the greatest tag team that we've had in more or less 5 years, ever since 1983, if I'm not mistaken. And a jawbreaker onto Hawk, and Honky Tonk Man, of course, as I mentioned before, is the longest reigning World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion, as Ellering, of course, is distracting the referee, and a clothesline onto the Honky Tonk Man. And of course the referee just got rid of the chair, which was good on his part. But yeah, so yeah, you get to see Jimmy Hart for the first time, and now you see Ellering helping up Hawk. Of course, he is somewhat divided between him and Animal. I mean, of course he's distraught by the fact that, you know, Hawk and Animal haven't been getting along, which is a huge understatement to say the least, but that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother time, as now Hawk has turned it around. And now Hawk, whoa, just deadlifted him. And nice slam. And is that enough to beat him? One. No, kick out by the Honky Tonk Man. And now Hawk is wondering, what do I have to do to beat the Honky Tonk Man? Oh, nice counter by the Honky Tonk Man. But Hawk, wait. Another good counter. If there was... Wait a minute. Uh-oh. He's going to do it again. Another shake, rattle, and roll. And a shoulder tackle onto the Honky Tonk Man. And now Jimmy Hart is on the apron. This is the first time we get to see him on the apron. What? Wait a minute. Honky Tonk Man, powerbomb, and a pinfall. 1, 2. Nope. Didn't get the 2 count. So now Honky Tonk Man is going to have to find a way to knock out Hawk. I mean, I highly doubt he's going to be able to make him submit, but nice suplex onto the Honky Tonk Man. And now Honky Tonk Man is the one that's in trouble. And a neck breaker onto the Honky Tonk Man, and now Jimmy Hart distracting the referee. And of course, Hawk, noticing that, could not take advantage and go for the pin and the win. Oh, and a knee right to the head. And wait, what's wrong with the Honky Tonk Man? And thrown outside the ring is the Honky Tonk Man. And a little too close for comfort is Jimmy Hart. And Jimmy Hart better not lay a hand on Animal, otherwise he could get the Honky Tonk Man disqualified. And oh, just deadlifting the Honky Tonk Man. And wait, what's wrong with the Honky Tonk Man? And Jimmy Hart, well, wait a minute. Animal. Oh my, and he missed the elbow in part because Jimmy Hart got Honky Tonk Man out of the way, and Animal might have hurt himself on the concrete. I mean, Hawk is a very tough guy, but I don't think he's that tough against concrete. And a back suplex onto Hawk. Now the referee is... Where's he up at? He's up to 6. Oh, it rammed into the steel steps was the Honky Tonk Man, and I believe Honky Tonk Man was busted open. I didn't see how he got busted open. I think it was that last punch or something. I didn't see. Or the knee to the head, actually, now that I remember. And Hawk exiting the ring, which will break up the count and restart it at 1. And rammed into the steel steps again, and now, again, close to Jimmy Hart, and Jimmy Hart, again, has to back away. Otherwise... Oh, nice corkscrew punch onto Hawk. And a nice counter onto the Honky Tonk Man. We're up to 6 again. And one right back to Animal. Or Hawk, I should say. Excuse me. I always call him Animal when he's not Animal. And now rammed into the steel steps was Hawk. Now, wait a minute. Jimmy Hart, you better not touch him. You better not touch him. Wait a minute. Honky Tonk Man just won by a count out. And there you saw that shake, rattle, and roll, which is that neck breaker. There you saw, oh, it's called a gut wrench suplex. That's what it's called. I'm sorry. And he tried to go for the cover there, and here's another shake, rattle, and roll. And then there's that power bomb. He tried to go for the pinfall. And then the neck breaker, which didn't quite work out. And but in the end, though, the Honky Tonk Man wins by a countout. And I'll tell you one thing. I mean, he has been in the business far longer than Hawk has. But congratulations to the Honky Tonk Man, and the Honky Tonk Man is just going to dance his way to the next round. And I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due, because, you know, Hawk, he was the number 2 seed, but against an experienced opponent like the Honky Tonk Man, he knew that he couldn't beat him by knocking him out. He had to get him counted out. But nonetheless, though, we'll be back for our next match. Alright. Alright. Now we are down to our third match. And this is going to be a classic, because you have Link, the man in green, against Mario. One half of the Mario brothers, I should say, in Mario himself. And now let's see what's going to happen here. The referee, is it going to be a clean break? Clean break. But a backbreaker onto Mario. And I got to tell you, even though Link was ranked 22nd in the tournament, I'll tell you one thing, he does not fight like a 22nd ranked opponent, that's for sure. And Mario, who is ranked number 3, doesn't fight like one either. Both these guys want to become number 1, and unfortunately one of these two is going to be eliminated and the other will move on. An arm breaker onto Link. Nice counter onto Mario with that arm drag. Another good counter with that fireman's carry. Now trying to break the arm of Mario is Link. Nice arm drag to Link. And a spine buster onto Link. I'll tell you one thing, Mario has been a success ever since he and his brother debuted on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I understand that some of my nephews have that system, and I just thought it was a fad, you know, given with, you know, Atari and how they just came out with a very, very, for lack of a better word, I mean, Atari came out with this very crappy game of E.T., and I thought E.T. was, the game E.T. was going to be a success, but it was an absolute failure, and I can see why, because the game is just, it was just unplayable. I mean, all they really did was just sell a box with E.T. on it, and I thought after that, you know, video games would never come back again, and but I will tell you one thing, I'm happy that I was wrong. Anyway, a pin in the cover. 1, 2, no. But then Mario and his brother Luigi, they came out with this game, Super Mario Brothers, and since then, I mean, they've had sequels, and bow and arrow onto Mario. Is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, no. Of course, you're going to have to do more than that to beat Mario. You might have to do another one. But anyway, I mean, not only do we have sequels, I mean, we also have a television show in which Lou Albano is portraying the voice of Mario. And I believe Danny Wells is portraying Luigi. And a couple of clotheslines. Then a leg sweep onto Link, and just like that, Mario is back into the game. Meanwhile, we have Link, who is... Wait a minute. An inverted suplex on the Link. But anyway, Link is from the Legend of Zelda series, and I thought it was going to be one and done. I thought, you know, he was only going to get one game, but he got a sequel, and 1, 2, no. But yeah, he and Zelda are going to get themselves a sequel, and I'm happy about that. And since then, in a relatively short time, Link has definitely become a big name on Nintendo. Wait a minute, Flatliner on Link. Is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, no. I mean, this match has been an instant classic. I mean, both these guys hit their finishers, and it was not enough. I would have to think whoever hits it next is going to win. Oh, and a punch right to the gut of Mario. And a nice counter by Mario. Can't even talk. And a whip into the corner. Now Mario, what's he setting him up for? Nope. And of course Link is not known for a high... He's not known as a high flyer as Link, so he got down. And now goes for a heel hold is Mario. And now we'll see if Link can get himself out of this one. Nope. Well, if anything, he got himself out of it, but I don't think... Oh, another flatliner! Is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, 3. So it took 2 flatliners from Mario for him to win. So congratulations. I mean, there you saw the... I actually missed it. I was not paying attention there, but I believe that was the bow and arrow. Oh no, wait, this is the bow and arrow. He went for that, and he went for a pinfall cover, but it just was not enough. Against many other guys, it would have put him away, but Mario is not just another guy. I mean, this crowd was jacked, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, Link did the right thing. He went for the cover every time that he had. There you saw that first flatliner. Or was this the second? I'm not sure. No, that was the first one. There's that heel hold. But I don't know. Yeah, he lost his grip, did Mario, so he had to let it go. But he hit another flatliner, and that was enough for Mario to win. So congratulations to Mario. And Mario, at this time, is the highest remaining seed left. So if my math is correct, he and Bob Barker are going to be facing off in the 3rd round. I believe it's the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though, but nonetheless, though, Mario's going to be moving on. And we have yet another match to come, so stay tuned. That match is coming up right after this. Alright, match underway, and we have another dream match. I mean, I thought the last match was pretty good, and it was, with Mario and Link. Well, now we have Mario's brother, Luigi, the man in green, against the man with the afro, and probably one of the greatest painters of all time, as he just delivers that... I actually don't know what the name of that move is, but that was a really good takedown by Bob Ross. And then just thrown into the steps was Luigi. But anyway, we have Bob Ross, who has definitely become a major star. And now, on a back suplex onto the concrete of onto Luigi. Oh, and then just stomps the arm as well. I don't even know what the count is. I can't even see the referee. But then thrown into the steel steps again is Luigi. And Bob Ross entered the ring only to exit. That'll break up the count and restart it at 1 again. And now he's going right back to Luigi. Nice counter onto Bob Ross, though. And now Bob Ross gets sent into the steps. A turnabout is fair play. And then I believe that was a knee onto the back of Ross. Bob Ross. And again, I don't know what the name of that move is. But it's just amazing how Bob can do things that I never thought he would be able to do. And now trying to pull on the hamstrings of Luigi. Is that enough to beat him? 1. No. Kick out at 1. Oh, and then an elbow right to the head. And that hat does not give much protection as he just went for a backflip. That's just incredible how Bob Ross can just do things that I never would expect a man his age to do, and a kick to the back. And I'll tell you one thing. Of course, Bob Ross has been champion before. I believe he won it in '84, but he hasn't won it since. And he would, I would think that he would love to win it again. And of course, back to Luigi. I mean, Luigi, along with his brother, I mean, they've become a big success for Nintendo, and since then they've gotten a television deal. Of course, Danny Wells does Luigi's voice in the cartoons. And 1, 2, no. Of course, Bob is going to have to do more than that to beat Luigi. And another elbow to the top of the head. And, dropping his head on the knee. I'm surprised he was able to just pick him up and just drop the back of his head on the knee, just like that. But then a jawbreaker onto Bob Ross. And now Luigi gets right back into it. And now Luigi just going to pound away on him. A clothesline. Another clothesline. And a leg sweep, and just like that, Luigi's back in it. And now Luigi just appealing to the crowd. Nope. A clothesline onto Luigi. And just like that, Bob Ross gets right back into it. Oh, an elbow. Oh, nice arm drag onto Luigi. And now, wait, what's this? Oh, a gut buster. Now goes off the ropes. And a leg drop, or a knee drop actually, onto Luigi. And I forgot the name of that move, but I'm pretty sure there's a name for it. I'm pretty sure Bob will tell me when it's all said and done. But Luigi, for a moment, was in trouble, but now all of a sudden he's fighting back. A snap suplex. And again, Luigi appealing to the crowd. All but Ross fighting back. And a neck breaker onto Luigi, and I'm surprised. Wait a minute, now Bob. Wait, what's Bob doing? I mean, he went onto the outside, but what's he going to do here? Oh, nice flying forearm from off the top rope, literally. 1, 2, no. Now, I'm pretty sure Bob was wondering, what the hell do I have to do to beat Luigi? I mean, even though Luigi, as well as his brother Mario, are great tag team wrestlers, Luigi's no slouch in the singles division, as was evident as far as Mario was concerned. And now Luigi has a sleeper, or a chin lock, I should say. And now Bob fighting back out of it. Or fighting out of it, I should say, excuse me. Now whipped into the ropes. Or the corner, actually. And, just dropped his knee and broke his leg, did Bob Ross to Luigi. And, whoa, what? I have never seen anybody do a move like that. Just doing a leg drop over the top rope. And, no wait, countered by Luigi, though. A backbreaker and a Russian leg sweep. And now going for a heel hold, much like his brother did in the previous match. But let's see, no, Bob kicks out of it. And he goes off a 1, 2, no. Of course you're not going to beat Luigi just by kicking him in the face. Although he just kicked him in the face just right then. Oh, but Luigi fighting back, of course. Nope. Oh, nice counter by Bob Ross. And now he's going for the calf crusher. Oh, but too close to the ropes was Bob Ross. Now going for a head crank. That's what it's called. I don't know why I called it a chin lock before that in previous shows. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Oh, nice counter onto Bob Ross. And uh-oh. Stump puller pile driver onto Bob Ross. That could do it. I'll be shocked if this doesn't put him away. Is this it? 1, 2. No! Bob. I'll tell you one thing. Bob is probably one of the toughest men that I've ever met. Because most guys don't get up from that. Oh, but Luigi could be setting up for something. Oh, missed did Luigi and countered into a clothesline onto Luigi from Ross. A jumping knee drop, that's what it's called, I'm sorry. A jumping knee drop onto the head of Luigi. And now... Wait a minute. Ross, could he be going for the super forearm? That's what he calls that. And could that do it? 1, 2, 3. No! I'll tell you one thing. This match has turned into an instant classic. I mean, you have Luigi, the lesser-known half of the Mario Brothers, against probably the greatest painter in the 80s. And I have a feeling that if, you know, his body holds up, he might just be the painter of the decade. Or excuse me, not the decade. What am I talking about? The century. Maybe not so much the millennium, because there's been other painters as great, if not better, than Ross. Oh, he calls that the stroke of genius, because he's just stroking the head. 1, 2, 3, and it took 3 stroke of geniuses to beat Luigi. And Bob Ross, I give you credit. I give him credit for just hanging tough against Luigi. And I mean, Luigi gave Bob everything that he could give him. A submission that didn't work. There you saw he went for the calf crusher, but was too close to the ropes, so the rope saved him that time. But it took 2 or 3 stroke of geniuses that the drop onto the knee, the back of the head dropping onto the knee of Ross. It took 3 of those to put away Luigi. So I got to give credit where credit is due, because Bob just pulled it out and has beaten Luigi. So unfortunately for Luigi, he will not be joining his brother Mario into the next round. And I'm pretty sure Mario's not going to like that, not one bit. But we have another match coming up, and that'll be up right after this. Alright, so we have our next matchup, and we have, in red, Buddy Roberts. And his opponent in the suit is the number 5 seed, James Bond. And a diving forearm drop, but he missed, did Roberts. No relation to Jake the Snake Roberts, of course. And, ooh, nice backside slam. And then just stomping on the arm of Buddy Roberts. But yeah, those last 2 matches were instant classics. But I'm not sure what kind of a classic we're going to get out of this one, but we'll see. We'll see. And Of course, Buddy Roberts was the recipient of a huge hand in which DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, came out and he attacked Buddy Roberts when he had his first round matchup with Earthquake, and Page's overzealousness gave the victory to Buddy Roberts and ultimately costed Earthquake the match. So we'll see if Buddy Roberts can take it all the way from this point, provided he doesn't get any more help or no one tries to go after him. But right now, James Bond is he's handling business as he should, although Buddy Roberts takes him down with that drop toe hold, and then just slamming his back and the back of his head onto that canvas. Oh, nice reverse head dropper onto Buddy Roberts, and Buddy... Wait a minute. Ooh, nice double underhook. Nice, just stalling him, just letting the blood rush to his head, only to slam him. No too close to the ropes was Buddy. Oh, and then an elbow right to the head of Buddy. All but Buddy just suckering him in. Oh, a jawbreaker onto Bond. Ooh, Bond. For a moment there, I thought Buddy was going to get him, but Bond turned that around, only to get hit with the STO. That's what the experts call that move that Buddy just did. So if that's what it's called, then that's what it's called. So it's an STO, and then a forearm drop onto James Bond. Is that enough to beat him? One. No. And of course, James Bond, as we've seen in the movies, he's fought in a lot of guys, but one thing he doesn't have in this match is a gun, which of course you can't have in a match like this. It's just not going to be allowed. But that doesn't mean he can't go fisticuffs with anybody. And a running bulldog onto James Bond. And now James Bond is already in trouble. And, whoa, shades of Jake the Snake Roberts. Buddy Roberts just hit the DDT as his cousin Jake would do. 1, 2, 3, and Buddy Roberts, with no help, does it himself and beats James Bond. So congratulations to Buddy for, being man enough to actually, beat James Bond himself. So thankfully we didn't have any interference, so we were able to get a good match out of that one. But congratulations to Buddy Roberts. So he will be the first fan. Can we get out of the way, please? Anyway, Buddy Roberts will be the first Freebird to make it to the next round. But we'll see if Jimmy Garvin, if I'm not mistaken, he will be up next. We'll see if Jimmy Garvin can join Buddy Roberts as the second Freebird of the ones remaining in the tournament to advance to the third round. But congratulations to Buddy Roberts. And of course, as you can see, he's very happy with himself, and he should be. And as for James Bond, James has just... he'll have to go back to the drawing board because the plan has just not worked for him. But we still have more matches, so stay tuned. They'll be coming up right after this. Alright, so we have another match coming in, and we have Animal, the man in face paint, against Jimmy Garvin, the man in white. And of course, Paul Ellering, as we saw earlier, accompanied Hawk against the Honky Tonk Man, in which the Honky Tonk Man won. But we'll see if Animal can get the job done. And of course, Jimmy Garvin, you know, being as smart as he is, knew that that Animal was going to bring in Ellering. So he counteracted with manager James J. Dillon, who, oddly enough, is also going to be featured later in the tournament. In fact, he was the highest seed remaining from the first round. And James, he better be careful not to lay a hand on Animal, otherwise Animal will move on. And that distraction, well, almost worked. But Animal recovered from that. And then a spine buster onto Jimmy Garvin. But yeah, Dillon himself is in the tournament, and he was able to upset Bruno Sammartino, which I honestly thought Bruno was going to destroy James Dillon, but unfortunately James had a backup plan, and he brought those brass knuckles, and we'll see if he'll bring them again as he takes on the number 8 seed, which is 2 matches away. But as a favor, he is helping out Jimmy Garvin, at least just to watch his back against Animal's manager, Paul Ellering. And down goes Jimmy Garvin in front of the announce tables. And Animal, what's he doing? Oh, nice diving punch onto Jimmy Garvin. But Jimmy throws Animal back in the ring, and of course these two guys are no strangers to one another. Whether it's the National Wrestling Alliance or the American Wrestling Association, these two guys are no strangers to each other in the tag team division with, you know, the Freebirds and the Road Warriors. But ever since the Road Warriors broke up, these two have not had much interaction since. And by these two, I mean Animal and Jimmy Garvin. And Jimmy escapes the submission attempt. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, these two are no strangers to each other. We'll see how these two do in singles competition. I would think it would favor Jimmy Garvin, being that, you know, even before joining the Freebirds, he was already a singles wrestler, so he knows what he's doing in that ring. Now going after Animal and a facebuster, or actually that was a bulldog, never mind. But yeah, he's staying on Animal, and that's exactly what you need to do against him. Oh, but a knee right to the gut. And there's a chair in the ring. Oh, that was James Dillon who brought it in. Then a head dropper onto Animal. And now James Dillon, wait a minute. Oh, and Jimmy Garvin just used the chair, and now it disposes of the evidence, and the referee did not even see that. And now Animal is in deep trouble, and he can thank the steel chair, but no. Instead, Animal counters, and he throws Jimmy Garvin on the outside of the ring. And What in the heck is that? I have never seen anybody dive through the turnbuckle and deliver a DDT, or a head dropper, I should say. That was an incredible move. I have never seen Animal do a move like that. I have never seen a near 300-pounder do that. Ever. Heck, I don't even think I've seen anybody ever do that before, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm just shocked. I'm shocked that I never knew that Animal had it in him. I mean, I would have expected at maybe Hawk to do it because, you know, he is a bird. But I never knew that Animal could fly. And another head dropper. And Jimmy Garvin celebrating, but he better not turn his back. Yeah, and that's exactly what happens. If you don't take advantage of it, Hawk or Animal will make you pay, as would Hawk if he was in this. then a neck breaker onto Animal. And was going to go for another head dropper, but Animal powers out of it. And wait a minute, he's got him in the torture rack. But is Jimmy Garvin gonna tap out here? Is he going to submit? Or can he escape? Yeah, he escapes, but actually I think it was more so Animal let him go. Or he was losing his grip anyway. Now whipped into the corner nearby Ellering. And a hip toss onto Jimmy Garvin into his corner with James J. Dillon. And now a military press slam onto Garvin. And could this do it? And another body splash. Is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, 3, and it's over. So Animal will be moving on to the next round, which may come at the disdain and may come at the disappointment of Hawk, who we saw early in the tournament, early in the round, I should say. Excuse me. So Animal will advance, and of course Hawk is not going to be too pleased about that. But Animal, he got the job done, and that's what counts. And we'll see who he's going to be facing in the next round, but that was just an incredible move by Animal, as well as that dive through the turnbuckle to deliver a head dropper. That was just incredible that Animal could fly. So Animal moves on, and we still have 2 more matches yet to come, so stay tuned. Those will be coming up right after this. Okay, now we have our second to last match, and we are in World Class Championship Wrestling's own Dallas Sportatorium. And of course this was chosen by Bam Bam Bigelow, who is the 7th seed, taking on the number 16 seed in Mr. Perfect. Bam Bam is the man in flames, and Mr. Perfect is the blonde. And Mr. Perfect's manager on the far left corner of your screen is Bobby Heenan, and on the opposite corner, once we get a good shot of him, but right now we have Bam Bam just cranking the neck of Mr. Perfect. Oh, and a nice counter by Mr. Perfect. And whipped into the ropes. Nope. Oh, and a nice clothesline onto Mr. Perfect. There he is. On the near right corner of your screen is Ted DiBiase, who is Bam Bam Bigelow's manager. And a nice counter onto Bam Bam. And a nice counter onto Mr. Perfect. And an elbow right to the back of the head. And of course Bam Bam is a huge man. I mean, he's like, I was going to say 400 pounds, but he's actually 350 pounds of meanness. And a nice counter from Mr. Perfect, though. And of course Mr. Perfect is by no stretch a very small man. Now wait a minute. 1. No. And Heenan slipping in the chair for his guy Mr. Perfect, but well, now wait a minute. Heenan now distracting Bam Bam. Oh, but Bam Bam countered that. Now takes control. A jawbreaker onto Bam Bam. That might be able to put him down. Yeah, that does. And now Mr. Perfect with the chair. Now, wait, he sets it up onto the corner, on a neutral corner, but I'll tell you one thing. He hit him with that chair, and he whips him right into the chair, and it happened so fast, I don't even think the referee even knew that the chair was there. But now, Mr. Perfect is in control of this match. And now Mr. Perfect. Nope, countered by Bam Bam Bigelow. And Bigelow. Nope. Mr. Perfect fighting back. And now whipped into his corner with Bobby Heenan. Now set up in a tree of woe. Now just choking out Bam Bam Bigelow. First the chair to the gut, and then running into that chair took a lot out of Bam Bam, and that neck snap that Mr. Perfect is known for, he just delivered it. Looks like Mr. Perfect is just waiting for Bam Bam to get up. A snapmare. And once again going for a head crank. Just trying to crank the head out of position. That's the idea of trying to crank the head. And wait a minute. Mr. Perfect, is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. The perfect plex. Perfect plex. And now, wait a minute. Now, Ted DiBiase distracting the referee. And that might have saved Bam Bam Bigelow for the time being. Nope. Taken down by Mr. Perfect. Or taking down Mr. Perfect. Excuse me, my fault. And now DiBiase throws in a chair of his own. And now, wait a minute. Oh, and a powerbomb on the chair. And now Bam Bam going to the top rope. Oh, and he went for the splash, but he ends up landing on the canvas and the chair. Could that do it? 1, 2, no. A normal man would have stayed down after that, but Bam Bam is by no stretch a normal man. This guy can do things that a man his size really shouldn't be able to do, but he does. Oh, and the drop kick from off the second rope. And again, cranking the head again. And, of course, the referee going to dispose of the chair. And another neck snap. Or snapmare and then a neck snap, excuse me. But no one... I was about to say before I was interrupted, nobody really uses... No one does the neck snap any better or any perfectly than Mr. Perfect as he hits another perfect plex, and again, DiBiase distracts the referee. Wait a minute, the referee has just tossed out Ted DiBiase from the match. And now wait, 1. No. So now DiBiase has been dismissed from the referee, and now Bam Bam is going to have to do this by himself. Not to say that he couldn't do it before, but he just needed someone to watch his back. And now Bam Bam going to the top rope again. Let's see if he hits it this time. This time he does. And is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, 3, and that is it. So even in spite of Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect trying to cheat their way by using those steel chairs as we saw earlier, and of course Ted DiBiase twice saved Bam Bam after getting hit with the perfect plex. There you saw Bam Bam going for the splash only to land on the chair. And again, that would have put away most men. And of course, Bam Bam is close to 400 pounds, so it was kind of tough for Perfect to get a pinfall count. And there you saw another perfect plex, and that could have done it, but Ted DiBiase saved his bacon not once but twice. And there you saw the referee on the right-hand corner of your screen toss out Ted DiBiase. And I'll have to take care of that little noise. In the meantime, Bam Bam moves on. Excuse me, I was just taking care of something. But anyway, Bam Bam moves on to the next round, and we'll find out who his opponent will be by then. But up next will be the final match of our show. So stay tuned. We'll be back for our final match. Alright, so this is our final match of the second round. And we have in the suit James J. Dillon, who we saw earlier help or try to help Jimmy Garvin into the next round. But it didn't prove, it proved unsuccessful. But now he is taking on Rick Rude, the man with the mustache, who is the 8th seed. And of course he's had the most time to prepare for this match. And a whip into the ropes. Ooh, nice knee right to the gut. And an elbow drop onto Dillon. And Rude showing off the magnificent physique, and that was kind of... I'll have to get rid of that notification that was on the screen. That was... I'll have to blur that out or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, back to the match. And now going for a face stretch of James J. Dillon. I can't even talk. Oh, but a nice counter onto Rude. Now whipped into the ropes. Then a back elbow onto Rude. And of course Rude would be doing himself a disservice if he thinks that James J. Dillon is just gonna, you know, just let him just walk. How do I put this? He would be mistaken if he thinks that James J. Dillon is just gonna let him get walked over, or if he's gonna be a pushover, I should say. Oh, and a rake in the eyes right to Rude. But a back body drop onto Dillon. Then a neck breaker onto Dillon. Oh, but Dillon fighting back though. A nice counter onto Dillon. And a head dropper onto Dillon. And now Dillon just getting his head rammed into the canvas. Oh, and slammed into the canvas again. And now, wait a minute, Rude. He could be setting up for it. The Rude Awakening. Rude Awakening, that vicious neck breaker. He calls that the Rude Awakening. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Once Rick Rude, ravishing Rick Rude, hits you with the Rude Awakening, doesn't matter who you are, even if your name is James J. Dillon, you don't get up from that. Yeah, there you saw the Rude Awakening onto Dillon, and once he got hit with that, it was over. No contest there. As Rude advances to the next round. In fact, of the 8 seeds, the top 8 seeds, he was the lowest. Let me see. Yeah, he is the lowest high seed to advance. But we'll see who he's going to take on in the next round. But with that said, that's going to do it for our tournament. Until next time, this is Henry Jacobson signing off. Have a good day, everybody.